everybody. And one of the most important updates I've done in a very long time, we're going to talk about the rise of RippleNet and how it's disrupting cross-border payments forever, why it's such a threat to SWIFT, and also we're going to talk about XRP Ledger and how it's taking the decentralized world by storm, how it's transforming the cross-border payments as we know it, and why XRP you must buy at these levels when it's in this time in history in a bear market and you build into the future. XRP, I'm going to show you why it's so important, and not just based on the technical analysis, but why between RippleNet and the XRP Ledger, why it is so important you don't miss out on this chance, why XRP should be looked at as one of the dominant cryptos, even though it's been beaten down for the past 4 years and mainly since the end of December of 2020 when the lawsuit was announced, but why that shouldn't affect your decision based on the technology, based on the adoption, and based on the two key things I've mentioned, RippleNet and also the XRP Ledger, and how both hand in hand makes XRP the predominant buy, but it'll also work in unity to push SWIFT out the door. SWIFT will still be around, but the things I'm going to show you now will alarm you, and it'll show you exactly why XRP is king and why RippleNet and the XRP Ledger will transform cross-border payments and the global financial system as we know it going into the ISO 20022. And please, please, please hit that like button. And also do me a favor, as many of you have not been receiving the YouTube notifications, even if you haven't turned to all, please share this far and wide to help me get past the shadow ban I always receive by YouTube, and hit that like button to push me as far as we can through the analytics, as this is one of the most important updates I've probably ever done. Good early afternoon, 12:57 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Wednesday, February 8th, 2023. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. As we see right now, XRP's current price sits at 0.3978, down 1.44%, and we'll get into the charts as this update goes on. But I want to show you some things very quickly. Sorry, I had somebody deliver something at my door. But we're going to go into the charts. But first, I want to go into what RippleNet is, how with the ISO 20022, it's really going to transcend things with RippleNet and XRP Ledger combined, how SWIFT is going to pretty much, in my opinion, become obsolete, even though they are, upgrading with their GPI, their SWIFT GPI. But first, a lot of people ask me about the ISO 20022. So first of all, we need to figure out what that is. So here's a brief definition. So the ISO 20022 is an international standard for financial messaging. It provides a common platform for the exchange of electronic financial messages between financial institutions, corporations, and other organizations involved in financial transactions. The ISO 20022 provides a standardized data format for financial transactions, enabling interoperability, reducing the cost and complexity of integrating different financial systems. The standard covers various financial transactions such as payment, securities, and foreign exchange transactions. ISO 20022 is widely adopted by banks, payment systems, and regulatory authorities worldwide. So that gives you a basic understanding of the ISO 20022 and the importance of it. Now, I want to show you the difference between RippleNet and SWIFT GPI. So let's do just that real quick. Let's compare RippleNet and SWIFT GPI. So SWIFT GPI, the Global Payment Initiative, are two different payment networks that facilitate cross-border transactions. RippleNet is a decentralized payment network developed by Ripple Labs, which uses XRP as its native currency. The network enables fast, efficient, and low-cost cross-border payments and aims to compete with traditional payment networks like SWIFT. SWIFT GPI, on the other hand, is a modernization initiative by SWIFT, a cooperative society founded by the banking industry to provide secure financial messaging services. It aims to improve the speed and transparency of cross-border payments by providing real-time tracking and end-to-end payment visibility. In summary, while both networks aim to facilitate cross-border payments, RippleNet is a decentralized network using XRP, while SWIFT GPI is a modernization initiative by the traditional network SWIFT. So now that we've gone over this, I need to give you a basic understanding of what the XRP ledger is before I can go into a couple of the key differences between the two, RippleNet and the Swift GPI or Swift as a whole. But you need to understand what the XRP ledger is as well, because this plays into a big part of why you need to own XRP. XRP ledger is an open source decentralized ledger that powers the digital currency XRP and serves as the backbone for RippleNet. So again, RippleNet, which we're competing with Swift GPI to overtake Swift in the cross-border payments, XRP ledger is the backbone for RippleNet, which uses the cryptocurrency XRP. So there's how you get kind of like your get back to the starting point and why it's so important. So a decentralized network of payment providers, digital asset exchanges, and banks, XRP Ledger uses a unique consensus algorithm that allows for fast, secure, and efficient settlement of transactions without the need for a central authority. The ledger is maintained by a network of independent validating nodes and supports various features such as smart contracts, multi-sig capabilities, and more. So now if you want to say, okay, well now if we start to put it on a basis to basis level, if you put RippleNet up against Swift, well, what am I going to be looking at in comparison? So here's a big difference, decentralization. So RippleNet is a decentralized network while Swift is centralized and controlled by a cooperative of banks. So that in itself right there, do you trust the banks? Speed. RippleNet allows for near instant cross-border payments while Swift transfers can take several days to complete. And that's huge. Like, that's something that I said in my very first video. And now we really have to pay attention. Do we really want to miss this chance? Or are you going to take full advantage of what's in front of you? XRP sitting at just about 40 cents today. That means 10,000 shares will cost you about $4,000. In the future, when we get to 2026, and some people are like, oh, 2026. It's a mind game, ladies and gentlemen. When the time is right, you're going to know it. You're going to know it because you're going to own your XRP and the zeros are going to start piling up on the end of your portfolio. And you're not going to really know what to do with it. But the time is now. You must build these up in bear market territories. You cannot miss the opportunity to buy XRP. You will beat yourself over the head and it'll be Bitcoin 2.0 in regards of you're going to miss something so cheap that can go so far and it offers so many answers in the here and now. 3, cost. RippleNet claims they have lower transaction fees compared to Swift, especially for small value transfers, which is very important in today's markets. 4, transparency. RippleNet provides end-to-end tracking for all transactions while Swift does not have this level of transparency. So if you're sending money, don't you want to know where it's going? Don't you want to have backing? And more than just you saying you did something? You have a verifiable digital foot track the moment you send something. For anybody who sends any kind of cryptocurrency, you know, even if somebody tries to screw you over, as long as you have that address and the hash to verify that it went through, legally, from a legal standpoint, you've got all the evidence you need and it's right in your back pocket. And 5, technology. RippleNet utilizes blockchain technology while Swift uses a legacy communication network, which it's being updated, but still, I would not trust it. So, I mean, those are a lot of reasons why you should be buying XRP, why you should not miss this time in history, and why I'll maintain that going forward. The problem is a lot of people throw out these $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, $50,000 price targets. You don't need that, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you something. If you start buying XRP now at sub 40 cents, why this video, I found it a good time to put it out. So it's sub 40 cents when you see this. And you start accumulating here, folks. You start accumulating. You take advantage of the bear market. And when it goes down, you continue to build. For everybody who talks trash, or everybody who doesn't know, or can't figure out if we're at the bottom, or we're at the start of a bull market rally, it's at $39.83. 10,000 shares will cost you $3,985. If we were talking about this in 2021 when I was trying to beg everybody to buy it before that bull run, you know, once we got into the bull run, those same shares would have cost you, at its peak, $19,800. So you have to put it in comparison. For 40 cent XRP and cheaper, This is some kind of life-changing transformation you can make. And that's not just me trying to get you to follow my channel, subscribe. That's me telling you, you build this to the bottom. Even if this goes sub 20 cents, like I believe it will ultimately, I believe we have a date with about 12/8 approximately, which is December 2020, which would make it a double bottom from the lawsuit announcement. And I believe it would have been a full circle. It would have took just over 2.5 years, depending on how long it takes. Or maybe even up to 3. But it would go full circle, and that is where XRP would rise out of the ashes. And that's what I gather out of everything that I've seen. So I've shown you the XRP ledger. I've shown you RippleNet and how XRP ledger is the backbone of RippleNet. I've shown you the ISO 20022 and what the importance of it is. I've shown you what Swift GPI is and RippleNet versus Swift GPI and how it all ties into why you should buy XRP. So this is the most informative video I've probably done since the very first episode I've given you. Not sharing anybody else's clip in this one. Even though I wanted to share a couple things, I want to keep it informative. Informative, and we're going to get into the chart now. Only XRP, because that's all I care about in this update. So XRP, if we look at this, we still have failed to get back into this. It's so hard to say what you want to call it now because it looks like it's forming a descending triangle as we speak. Or even like, yeah, it looks like it's falling to the downside here. It really does. But I'm looking at it from two angles because you have the descending downward spiral here. You could also say it's kind of broadening out a little bit. It's so hard to say exactly what you want to say. But in any regard, you've got the downtrending resistance. You got the same downtrending resistance, downtrending support. You've got the uptrend we broke down from that is still coming across here that we can pull it out so that we can see exactly how it meets out. And that's the pattern we fell down from. And it's very bearish if we keep rejecting there. And if we do, the next target's going to be, and you would have to break through the 39 cent. And I understand the 382. That's why I have it listed there. But a big area would be to come back down here and see if even the 375 could hold. And that's on a breakdown. Now, if you continue to break up, you have a little bit more. Let me get that out of the way. You have a little bit more that you can do. But in this ascending triangle basis, if I were looking at it like that, even though the downtrending resistance played out, we still had this basically flat support that we would still have to get through. And it would still make sense. Because if we pull this across, it can be a rejection on both levels, which would even more, to me, confirm that very bearish thesis. And that's a little bit higher than it was. Whoops. But something like that. So we're really going to have to retest this if we even want to break out. And you got to get over this level ultimately. That's why I still think that ascending triangle, I still think that coming through here, the pattern was ascending. Even though it's now on a breakdown, you can see the head and shoulders if this is a topping reversal. But that's exactly why I like looking at it as an ascending triangle. Nothing's ever going to be 100% to the technical definition. You have to base it around what you know. And maybe your insight can force the pattern into something, and it will make it more understandable than looking at it in fractals and maybe into the descending fashion sometimes. Because we still have the downtrending resistance. But I tried to find a flat support here, or resistance, that I thought it would have to hold to break up to the 432, then ultimately the 446. And that's what or 448, that's what I always do. That's how I stay ahead of the market. And that's why sometimes I look like an idiot. And my technical analysis pays off, because by typical definition, I'm kind of stretching what it is. But this, to me, still feels right. Because it's still met at that exact point. So if you play it through, did it not meet? Even if you're saying this is a descending triangle, or if you're saying that maybe, you know, we're forming some kind of, some people are calling it like a bearish, there's a lot, I don't even want to get into the ciphers, but a lot of people are bringing those up as well. I still think you keep it simple. You talk and you explain it in the most simplest terms possible, and so we can draw a basic understanding, because I have to, not everybody, the majority is not going to be an expert who's watching me. 95% of you who are watching me don't understand technical analysis, and you're just trying to figure out any kind of semblance of why you should buy XRP. Not even just because of the charts, but you want to know real information, and that's why you've seen a transformation in this very production in the past several weeks. So that's what I'm looking at here. So still, The ascending triangle resistance would be like a flat line, a stable resistance that goes all the way across. So that 413, and then it just happens to meet at the that's like the apex moment. So we know that this had some validity here. It's just a matter of, I pulled it up from this left shoulder that I was saying was this high before it reached the head. And then we had the downtrend start forming, and it verified it here. We've been rejected so many times, and now we've got the uptrend that it's getting rejected by here. Now, if it comes all the way up and comes through here, even if it's bearish, this is what we have to watch. You could still stay in here and go all the way over here and eventually hit this 413 area, 414 area, and then pull down. So that's how they can continue the pattern to move. So I'm XRP Future Millionaire. Leave a comment and let me know what you think. Make sure you're not missing this moment in history. And if you want to trade XRP, I see a lot of people say it's not available in the USA. I've got two great options for you. The first being, look in the video description below, MEXC, no VPN. You buy your XRP, no spot fees to buy or sell, and you can send it off of their base right on the XRP ledger, what I just talked about. Also, I also have UPHOLD. You can buy in the USA with no VPN, but they have higher spot fees. That's why I suggest buying it on MEXC with no spot fees. And then if you're not in the USA, my favorite platform is BITGET. I can still use it with no VPN because I'm already signed up, but new users need to use a VPN. That's why I advise the MEXC, but BITGET also has no spot fees for buying and selling. And both MEXC and BITGET have futures trading if you're interested. So hashtag be better, do better, and let me know what you think.